Yan, so welcome for our today's topic, no. So let us discuss limits of a function. So previously we have discussed what a function is, no, how do we evaluate functions, and how do we operate functions. Now, let us discuss limits, no. So limits, no, as defined here, no, sabi dito the limit is a breaking point of a function. So ano ba pag sinasabi nating breaking point? That point or that value is where a function becomes undefined. Fine, no? So basically that's what a limit is. Now, so for example, no, we have our function f of x is equal to x plus 1 all over x minus 1, no? So let us check, no, on which value of x kaya does this function becomes undefined, no? So we have here a set of few sample values, no, sample values ni x that we are going to plug in our variables, no. So we have, let me just write this. So dito natin siya ilalagay, no. Ayan. First we have negative 2. So if we have negative 2, let's say, no, negative 2 tsaka dito sa baba, so this will give us negative 2 plus 1 is equal to negative 1, no, over negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. Hence, our value, no, the value of the function when x is equal to negative 2 is 1/3, no, positive 1/3. So, 1/3 yung ilalagay natin. Okay, so we can also try to plot this, no, later, no, ipa-plot natin to isa-isa to see, no, how does ano yung itsura ng function natin, no, ng graph ng function natin kapag napunta na siya dun sa kanyang breaking point. Sige, let's populate this table first, no. Burahin ko muna to. So we have here, no, if we have negative 1 as our value of x, so we have negative 1 dito sa baba. Okay, then we have negative 1 plus 1, that is 0, no, over negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. And we all know, no, that if 0 is divided by any number, the result will still be 0, no. So this will become, the function is 0, no. So yung f of x natin is 0. Now next, if our x is 0, no, so lagay natin dito 0, 0. So obviously we will have 1 over negative 1, which is equivalent to negative 1, no. So 0 is negative 1. And we have, no, palitan ulit natin, no, for our 1. Okay, so we have positive 1. Ayan. So 1 plus 1 is 2. However, no, 1 minus 1 is 0. So meaning, no, since we have a number divided by 0, that will be undefined, no. So undefined yung ating value ng function at x is equal to 1. So lagay ko dito, no, undefined or UND, no. And last, no, for 2, no, lagay natin sa 2. Okay, 2 plus 1, no, that is 3. Over 2 minus 1 is positive 1. So we have positive 3. No? So lalagay natin yan dito. So let's try to graph, no, to visualize, no, ano ba itsura ng function kapag nasa kanyang breaking point, no. So we can see here we have values of f of x for all the values of x except 1, no, where the function becomes undefined. That is our limit, meaning the limit of the function is 1, no. So sige, let's have it here, no. So we have x is negative 2. So this is negative 2, 1/3, no. So this is somewhere here. Ayan, this is our first point. Then we have negative 1. Okay, for negative 1 for x, then the value of f of x is 0, no. So dito yan. So when the value of value of x is 0, no. So the value of f of x is negative 1. So ito siya. Then kay 1, no, undefined siya, lalagyan natin ng palatandaan, no, parang broken line. Kasi dito nga siya undefined eh. Meaning our graph will not pass through this point, no. Ayan. Then we have 1. No, by the way, no, that's 1. Then kay 2 naman, no, 3 na yung value ng ating function. Ayan. So, if we're going to graph, no, let's say, no, dagdagan pa natin ng few points, no, let's say 3 and 4, no, just to supplement, no, yung right side ng ating graph. So, we have here 3, then 3, this will become 4 over 2, so that is simply 2, no? So 2 tayo dito, then burahin ko lang to, so we have 4 over 4, no? So we have 4 plus 1 is 5, 4 minus 1 is 3, so 5 thirds, no? So 5 thirds is equivalent to 1 and 2 thirds, no? Something like that. Okay? So 3, no? When x is 3, y is 2, or f of x is 2. So dito 'yan. Ayan. Then when x is 4, f of x is 5 over 3, or 1 and 2 thirds. So somewhere here. Oops. Ayan, somewhere here. No, so yan yung ating mga points, no, in the given function. So pagpa-plot natin siya, no, medyo ganito yung magiging itsura niya. Isin ko lang. Ayan. No, so kapag kinontinue natin, no, yung ating table, no, dito sa taas, ganyan yung magiging collection of points natin kapag ginraph natin. So kung mapapansin ninyo, no, hindi tayo nagkaroon ng value na nag-pass through at 1. Kasi nga, that is the breaking point, or that is the limit of our function. Okay? So that is the base definition of what the limit of a function is. No? So let's try to solve, no, some problems. So number 1, find the limit of the function x squared plus 1 as x approaches 1. No, so baba ko lang muna to. Ayan, no, baba lang muna natin. Okay, so find the limit of the function x squared plus 1 as x approaches 1. So paano natin ito isusulat? So nakita nyo naman sa other example natin, no. So the limit of the function x squared plus 1, no, as x approaches 1. So sa substitute lang natin 'yan, yung limit value, yung limit natin, no, isa-substitute lang natin siya dun sa variable natin, no, na kung saan siya kung saan nag-approach, no. So we have 1 squared plus 1. So obviously that is equal to 2, no? So ayan. This is the value of our limit, no? So yung limit ng ating functions as x approaches 1. Okay? Next, no? So medyo mababa pala, taas ko lang ng kaunti ito. Yan. No, so we are asked to find, no, evaluate the limit of x squared minus 1 over x minus 1 as x approaches 1. No, so kung isa-solve natin siya directly, no, just like what we did on the first example, this will give us 1 squared minus 1 over 1 minus 1, which is essentially 0 over 0, or ande fine. However, no, we still need to come up with a limit, kasi of course there is a limit for this specific function. Now, how are we going to do this? Now, we need to simplify the given function first, no? So let's factor the numerator, no? Obviously the numerator is still factorable, difference of two squares, no? So we have, ako na lang lagay, the limit of x plus 1 times x minus 1 all over x minus 1. So, as x approaches 1. No? So, may makakancel tayo obviously, no, na term, no, or tawag ito, collection of terms, no, which is x minus 1, no. So cancel natin yan. So ang may iwan na lang is the limit of x plus 1. Actually, this function is equivalent to this function, no. So the limit as x approaches 1, no, I mean the limit of x plus 1 of the function x plus 1 as x approaches 1. No, so substitute na natin. So we have one plus 1, no? So therefore the limit of the function x plus 1 as x approaches 1 is 2, no? So ayan. Okay? No, so that is how we solve, no? Kapag initially, no, nag-undefine yung sagot natin. So let's try to look for I mean, yung kung madededuce pa ba natin yung ating function, no? Baka mamaya kasi pwede ba naman pala ma-deduce, no? We can do a workaround so that we can have an actual value for this function. Okay, so let's have our third example. Adjust ko lang ulit. No, so for the third example, now let's find the limit of this polynomial, no, of this function x cubed plus x squared minus minus 8x minus 12 all over x cubed minus 4x squared minus 3x plus 8, no. So let's try to solve, no. So substitute muna natin, no, diretso. So we have 3 cubed plus 3x squared minus 8 times 3 minus 12 all over x cubed minus 4 times 3 squared minus 3 times 3 plus 8. Now, so this is our evaluated function. Now, let's simplify, no. This will give us actually, no, this will actually give us 0 over 0. No, so which will again, no, katulad nung nauna natin is undefined. No, so we do not want as much as possible we do not want an undefined answer. So let's try to deduce. No, of course this is still factorable, no. So let's factor out, no. So yung ating numerator, this is actually equivalent to x minus 3 x squared plus 4x plus 4. So kung mapapansin nyo guys, no, this is a cubic equation, no. So kapag meron tayong formula, no, sa tawag dito sa pagfa-factor ng cubic equation natin. So kaya nakuha natin to by using that formula, no. So ayan. Then we have x minus 3, no, multiplied to x squared minus x minus 6. No, so makaka-cancel yung x minus 3. Then ito, yung dalawa natin, let's check kung factorable pa ba to. Yes, obviously, no. That is still factorable, no. So we have, ano yung factors natin dito? So we have okay, so we have x plus 2 quantity squared, no? So kapag in-expand natin to, ito yung lalabas over x plus 3 or x minus 3 rather times x plus 2, no, which cancels yung isang x plus 2 sa taas, then cancel yung x plus 2 sa baba. So our function, no, kapag the lowest term natin, no, is equivalent to x plus 2 over x minus 3. Okay? So let's substitute. So we have 3 plus 2 over 3 minus 3 will give us 5 over 0, which is still undefined, no? So undefined pa rin, but wala na tayong magagawa, no? We have already simplified our function, no? Na-cancel na natin yung mga dapat natin ma-cancel. Hence, this will be our answer na. Kapag undefined ang lumabas, no? Therefore, we have no limit, no? So, the answer is no limit. Ayan. Okay? So, that's how we evaluate limits, no? Using the limiting value, no? Kung saan nag-approach yung ating function. Okay, so let's go to the theorems of limits, no? How do we actually come up with those kind of ano kanina, no? Yung solution natin kanina. So, first, we have the limit of a constant, no? The limit of any constant as x approaches a certain value, let's say a is still equal to the said constant, no? So, ano ba yung mga constant natin? Any constant na merong fixed numerical value, that is a constant, no? So, we have here, let's say, no, the limit of 5 as x approaches 1, this is still equal to 5, no? Yan. Then yung ating limit of pi as x approaches c, no, is still equal to pi. Remember, 'di ba, pi is not a variable but rather a constant. 'Di ba? 3.1416, so on and so forth, no? Yun yung value ng ating pi. Okay, next, let's proceed with the second theorem, no? So sabi dito, the limit of x as x approaches a is equal to a, no? Yun yung ginagamit natin kanina, no? Na rule in solving the limit, no? So let's say we have here the limit of x as x approaches 3, so this is equivalent to 3, no? And we have here the limit of x as x approaches pi over 2, that is equivalent to pi over 2. We're just simply substituting, no? Next, third theorem, no? So we have the limit of a constant multiplied to a certain function, no? As x approaches a is equivalent to that function multiplied to the limit, no? Constant of that function, the constant multiplied to the limit of the function as x approaches a. So magiging c times f of a lang siya. No? So parang ganun. Okay, so let's have here, no, our first example, the limit of 1/4 x as x approaches 3. No? So this will become 1/4 multiplied to the limit of x as x approaches 3. No? So obviously, kapag pinalit natin, 3 yung lalabas. So we have 1/4 times 3. Therefore, the limit of this, I mean this limit is evaluated as 3/4. Ayan. Okay? Then we have letter B, the limit of kx as x approaches 6. No? So, k is a constant in this problem. So, k multiplied to the limit of x as x approaches 6. No? So, substitute lang natin. We have k6, k times 6. So, okay na to, but it would be better if we write it 6k. No? So, just para at least leading yung ating numerical coefficient. No? Ayan. Okay? So that is theorem number 3. Theorem number 4, no? So sabi dito, the limit of f of x plus g of x as x approaches a, that is equivalent to the limit of f of x as x approaches a plus the limit of g of x as x approaches a. No, so we can simply say na didistribute natin yung limit operator natin, no? So nadidistribute siya on addition, no? So lagyan lang natin ng proper grouping. Ayan. Okay, so letter A, no? Let's try to solve. So we have the limit of 4x plus 5 as x approaches 1/4, no? So distribute lang natin yung ating limit operator. So the limit of 4x as x approaches 1/4 plus the limit of 5 as x approaches 1/4 as well. No, so substitute. So we have the limit, or rather the limit tuloy. 4, no, multiplied to the limit, the value, no, yung approaching value natin. So that's 1/4 plus 5, no, kasi constant naman yan. Then of course cancel to. This will just give us 1. 1 plus 5 is equal to 6. No, so this is our answer. Okay? So, yun. No? So, that is for number 4. Then, we have here number 5, no? The limit of f of x multiplied to g of x, no, as x approaches a. Ganun din, nadidistribute din natin. So, the limit of f of x times the limit of f of x as x approaches a multiplied to the limit of g of x as x approaches a. No? So, yun yung kanyang distributed form. For example, we have here, no? So, the limit, no? The limit of tangent x times 1 plus cosine x, no? So, sige, let's distribute the limit of tangent x as x approaches pi over 4. So, alam naman natin, no? Multiplication ang operation nito. So, pwede natin siya i-distribute. 1 plus cosine x as x approaches pi over 4. So, ito din, no? Using the previous theorem, no? We can distribute. So, we have the limit of tangent x as x approaches pi over 4, no, multiplied to, lagyan lang natin ng grouping, the limit of 1 as x approaches pi over 4 plus the limit of x, cosine x as x approaches pi over 4. Okay, then substitute. So we have tangent of pi over 4, no, multiplied to 1 plus cosine pi over 4. Now, 'di ba meron tayong value for this, no, kapag kinalculate ninyo, which will actually give us, no, ano yung ibibigay niya sa atin. So, tangent pi over 4 is equal to 1. Okay? Multiplied to 1 plus the value of cosine of pi over 4 is square root of 2 over 2. No, so which will actually give us, no, the answer. So this will become yung 1 pwede natin i-disregard, 'di ba? Kasi any number multiplied to 1 still equal to itself. Tapos kunin lang natin LCD, no? So 1 over 1, no? This is actually 1 over 1. Tapos LCD ng 1 and 2 is 2. So we will have 2 over 2 plus square root of 2 over 2, that is 2 plus square root of 2 all over 2. This is our final answer. Okay? So that is for theorem number 5. Next, we have theorem number 6, no? So, if we have, let's say, no, the limit of a function raised to n, no, as x approaches a, pwede nating ilabas yung exponent, no? Just for us to easily evaluate yung ating function inside the limit operator. No? So, this will become limit of f of x as x approaches a, quantity raised to n. No? So, let's say, now we have here the limit of y cubed multiplied to y minus 1 quantity raised to 4. No? So, we have, distribute muna natin using the previous theorem. No? So, we have here the limit of y cubed sorry, this is not y cube but rather x cube. Sorry, using natin. Ayan. The limit of x cube as x approaches 2 multiplied to the limit of x minus 1 quantity to the fourth as x approaches 2. So, let's apply our theorem. No? So, we have the limit of x as x approaches 2 quantity cube times the limit of x minus 1 as x approaches 2 quantity to the fourth. No? So, ito yung kabilang side, pwede na natin to i-distribute, no? So, we have the limit of x as x approaches 2 cube times the limit of x as x approaches 2 minus the limit of 1 as x approaches 2 quantity to the fourth. No, so we have, pwede na natin substitute. No, so we have 2 cube times 2 minus 1 quantity to the fourth. So this will give us, no, so 2 minus 1 is 1, raised to 4 is still, of course, this is 1. No? So any number multiplied to 1 is equal to itself. 2 cube is equal to 8, no? So therefore, the value of the limit of the function as x approaches 2, no, is 8, no? So yun. Okay, that's how we evaluate uh limits, no, involving exponents. Okay? Then last, no? So our theorem number 7, if we have the limit of a function divided by another function, no, pwede din natin distribute, no? However, it should be provided, no? Let's say, no, na-evaluate na natin. Yung nasa taas is A, yung nasa ilalim is B, no? Then, B must not be equal to 0 or else mag-undefine yung ating evaluation, no? So, hindi tayo makakakuha ng limit, no, or ng sagot, no? So, kay game, no? So, let's try. We have here the limit of x raised to negative 3 as x approaches 2, no? So, this one is actually equivalent to the limit of 1 over x cubed as x approaches 2. No, so, pwede natin i-distribute, sabi nga dun sa theorem. So, you have the limit of 1 as x approaches 2 divided by the limit of x cubed as x approaches 2. No, so, we have 1 dun sa taas over, no, so, we have, this one is the limit of x as x approaches 2 quantity cube, diba? Using the previous theorem. So, we have 1 over 2 cube, diba? Na-substitute na natin. So, 2 cube is 8. So, therefore, the evaluated function is equivalent to 1 over 8. No? The limit of the function is equivalent to 1 over 8. Okay? So, yun, no? That's the, basically, no, those are the theorems that governs limits, no? How we evaluate limits. No? So, let's try our few examples, no, of these theorems, no, in application. Ayan. So, number 1, no, we're asked to find for the limit of the function 4x cubed minus 3x plus 10 as x approaches negative 2. So, we have, no, we can distribute the limit of 4x cubed as x approaches negative 2 minus the limit of 3x as x approaches negative 2 plus the limit of 10 as x approaches negative 2, no? Tapos, this can be transformed, no? Medyo i-shortcut ko na konti. 4 times the limit of x as x approaches negative 2 quantity cube minus 3 multiplied to the limit of x as x approaches negative 2 plus the limit, no, of 10 as x approaches negative 2. Okay? So, yan, pwede na natin siya ngayon isolve. So, we have 4 times. Ayan. So, we have 4 times. Negative 2, papasok lang natin kay x. So, we have negative 2 cube minus 3 times negative 2 plus 10, no? So, ayan. Negative 2 cube is negative 8, no? So, we have 4 times negative 8. So, negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 2 will give us positive 6 plus 10. No? So, we have 4 times negative 8 is at negative 32 plus 6 plus 10. No? So, this is equivalent to 16, no? So, yung 6 plus 10 natin is 16. Negative 32 plus 16 is negative 16. Yan. So, this is the value of the limit, no? I mean, the function as x approaches negative 2. Okay? So, yun. Next. We have here, no, the limit of negative 12x squared plus 35x minus 8. No? So, ganun din, no? Let's distribute, no? So, we have the limit of negative 12x squared plus the limit of 35x minus the limit of 8. No? As x approaches 2. Ayan. So we have, no, negative 12 multiplied to the limit of x as x approaches to quantity squared plus 35 times the limit of x as x approaches to minus 8 basically, no? So kahit hindi na natin ilagay yung operation kasi 'di ba constant, no? Kapag kinuha mo yung limit ng constant, so yung constant pa rin yung makukuha mo. So we have negative 12 times 2 squared, no? Plus 35 times 2 minus 8. So we have negative 12 times 4 plus 70, no? 35 times 2 is 70 minus 8. So 12 times 4, that is equivalent to 48, no? So we have negative 48 plus 70 minus 8. So this will just be 70 minus 56, that is equivalent to 14. Ayan. So this is the limit of our the value of the function as x approaches 2, no? So yeah. Then we have here the limit of 1 plus x squared, or x over 2 rather, no, as x approaches 1. So distribute lang natin the limit of 1 as x approaches 1 plus the limit of x over 2 as x approaches 1. So we have 1 plus 1 half. No? So this will become basically 2 over 2 plus 1 over 2. So this will give us 3 over 2. No? So this is the answer to the limit of the function as x approaches 1. Okay? So that's it for now, no? So I hope you guys learned something, no? So basically it's almost like, no, it's almost like when we are evaluating functions, no? But in the second part of this discussion, no, second part ng limits discussion natin, malalaman ninyo yung difference nila, no? So that's I hope you guys learned something, no? Stay safe and God bless.